Here's a horror story set on a rainy night in a house, titled Whispering Shadows. Whispering shadows, the rain lashed against the windows, a relentless storm that had no intention of stopping. Thunder rumbled in the distance, shaking the old wooden house nestled deep in the countryside. Claire had never liked storms, and tonight, something about the rain felt wrong. She sat on the couch, wrapped in a thick blanket, the dim glow of the fireplace casting flickering shadows along the walls. The power had gone out an hour ago, and her phone had barely any charge left. She should have never agreed to house sit for the weekend. The house belonged to her late aunt, Margaret. It had been abandoned for years, yet her family insisted someone stay there before they sold it. Claire hadn't questioned why until now. A whisper. Claire sat up straight. The sound was soft, like a breath against her ear. She turned. Nothing. Just the shadows dancing on the walls. She exhaled, convincing herself it was the wind sneaking through the old wooden boards. But then Claire, her breath caught in her throat. That wasn't the wind. Something had said her name. The shadows along the walls began to shift unnaturally. The flickering light from the fireplace should have made them waver, but instead, they slithered, stretching and twisting. A loud bang echoed from upstairs. Claire jumped, her heart pounding. She wasn't alone. With slow, hesitant steps, she moved toward the staircase. The wooden floorboards creaked under her weight. The whispering grew louder, voices blending together, an eerie chorus of unintelligible murmurs. She reached the top of the stairs. The hallway stretched into darkness, doors slightly ajar. She knew she should turn back, leave the house, but something compelled her forward. A shadow darted across the hallway. Not a trick of the light, something real. Claire's breathing quickened. She stepped toward the room at the end of the hall, the one her aunt had always kept locked when she was alive. The door stood open. Inside, the air was thick, suffocating. The room was filled with dust-covered furniture, but at the center stood a tall mirror, its glass strangely untouched by time. The whispers were deafening now. Join us. Claire's reflection was wrong. It wasn't mirroring her movements. Instead, it grinned, then it stepped forward. She screamed as dark hands burst from the mirror, grasping at her. She stumbled backward, but the shadows wrapped around her ankles, pulling her in. The last thing she saw before the darkness swallowed her was her own reflection watching, smiling, and then silence. The rain outside continued to pour. The house stood empty once more, except for the whispering shadows.